Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review of an oldie, but kind of a goodie, at least if you ask me, because today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse, Master of the Universe Revelation. Yeah, we're in the way back machine with this one. Skele-Sorceress Evil-Lyn. This, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel and Big to Bad Toy Store, because I was a dunce, aka doofus, aka dummy, and didn't buy this figure when it came out, so I had to order it from there. Thankfully, BBTS does have a fair share of back stock when it comes to figures you can't find in the store anymore, so shout out to them for kicking ass as always. But long story short, this figure sat at my local Target forever. Thought it was going to go on clearance. If it did, it got bought up by some D-bag reseller, and that's why I didn't get one for $10 or whatever. That said, we got her now, so I guess I can quit my bitching. So with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all the Skele-Sorceress Evil-Lyn has to offer in terms of accessories. Wow, that's not a lot. Yeah, she comes with 2 extra hands. She's got to open, cast a spell a hand for the left or the right side, and a kung fu grip hand for the left, because currently she has a cast a spell a hand on the left side and a kung fu gripper on the right. That said, she does come with her wand, which is the little dinky one, which kind of sucks, because I wanted this one to have the staff-esque wand, but unfortunately I don't have an extra one of those. I only have this little teeny one that she came with, because the long wand I actually gave to the Megan Foster Evil-Lyn, because I think she looks good with that one. But Evil-Lyn's staff was retracted for most of the series, so I guess that's okay. But it just looks kind of dinky like this. I would think the Skele-Sorceress would have like a bat staff or something, given her bat motif. Which one? We take a look-see at that. Kind of surprised they went with a bat, to be honest with you. I mean, it fits Evil-Lyn alright, but I would have expected maybe a raven or, I don't know, a ram type thing, because in Revolution, they established the magic of Ka, which is the snake, Zor, which is the falcon, and Havoc, which is the ram. And since Skeletor got the ram horns and all the crazy cool demonic armor when he turned into Skelegod, I figured she would have got some ram horn thing as well. But she got the bat, this bat head piece, which looks cool. I feel like the CGI series might have took some cues from this version of Evil-Lyn, because she had the bat wings on her head. I know that first season of that series came out before Revelation Part 2, which this Evil-Lyn was a part of. But if you ask me, the show was probably done long in advance, possibly even before that CGI series, because it seems like the CGI series was announced, and then there was toys, and then we got the show in like the same year, whereas Revelation, it felt like a slow burn, like it took forever to come out. But as far as her articulation goes, her head is fairly limited. It really is just a swivel, if that, because her head is connected to this collar piece, which is connected to her cape. You can take this off, so you can get better head range. As you can see, it is not stuck, but and she does have the long hair, which I do prefer, but she just doesn't look right without this collar piece on, so I have a tendency to just leave this where it's at. It is kind of tricky to line up, but once you do it, it sits just fine around the shoulders. And honestly, other than making this real fur, like the King Keldor figure, I don't know what else they could have done, and this figure came out in the time of the line where they were barely using quality soft goods. She's got a really nice kind of spandex feely cape. Does have a little bit of stretch to it, but I wouldn't stretch it too far. It feels really nice in hand. I like it a lot. But her shoulders obviously can go out pretty far. And like Maleficent at the end of Disney's Sleeping Beauty, she can spread her arms out so you can deal with her and all of the forces of hell, and then turn to a giant dragon, freaking torture ass. That said, why can't Mattel get the Disney license? I'd love a Maleficent, like, articulated like this, built like this. They do a good job with it, is what I'm saying. Better than some people. A Super Sam! So, as far as the shoulders go, again, they move out. They do rotate forward and back. She does have a bicep swivel. Double elbow, but it seems to be rather tight on that top joint. So I tend not to use that. She does have the little loop-de-loops on her cape. She's got one at the elbow, one at the wrist. You have to put those on yourself, which is kind of a chore, I'm not going to lie, but once you get them open and slipped over the wrist, it's fine. Torso appears to have, you know, the regular, it can move forward and move back a little bit, but it does not rotate. At least not a ton. Maybe it's because of the sculpt. Because it does kind of feel like it rotates. Okay, maybe it does a little bit. It might just be the single, like the, what is it? The 1987 movie He-Man and Skeletor. They could rotate in the torso, but it was only at the base. You couldn't rotate them at the top. Like, Too Bad. I think he was the first figure to have that. She can rotate down here, but not up here. So you're not going to get a ton out of that because the sculpt kind of bumps into everything there. She does rotate at the waist, though. And her hips can kick out, they can kick back down, they can rotate at the thigh, they can kick forward pretty good, back pretty good. Wow, I just kind of cranked on that. Whoops! I didn't break it though, so that's good. Don't break your toys, kids. Her hips are pretty tight. But not tight to where I feel like I just messed that one up. Sorry to get up on your business, Linny, but, checking for stress. I don't want to have a busted hip on my end. She does have a thigh cut. Double knee. It works pretty good. Boot swivel. And then the feet are on hinges. And she can rock at the foot as well. And she's got peg holes if you want to put her on a stand. I will say, her paint apps are crisp as shit. Like, they are super clean. They're not fuzzy or anything. But I will tell you, I would have preferred if this costume was sculpted. Just because it feels kind of plain. Kind of weird. Like she's got a, I don't know, a painted on bodysuit. You guys know people who paint their bodies to look like different things and whatnots. It does kind of remind me of that. So that's kind of weird. But whatever. It's still a nice figure. Of the Evil-Lyns we have in Masterverse, it's one of my preferred versions of her, even though it's not as traditional. I guess you could throw the regular head on there and then just have a titty barbarian Evil-Lyn if you want. I'd say this one and the Megan Foster 1987 movie Evil-Lyn are the best ones. The Darklyn's alright. I think it's too big. And then the first Evil-Lyn we got in this line, that costume was just so dull and boring. It just did nothing for me. Hopefully the new Eternia one will blow the rest of them out of the water, other than maybe the Megan Foster one, because they did do a really good job with her. But enough talking about different versions of Lyn. She's not my favorite MOTU character by a long shot, but I know a lot of people like her. And if you ask me, this is probably the best version of her from Revelation that we currently have. I would like to see a Revolution version. I'd like to see a, spoiler alert, mute it for like 10 seconds, Cosmic Enforcers version of her. That would be pretty sweet. But for now, I think we got enough Evil-Lyns in this line. I think we could use maybe a new Eternia Tila to go with that new Eternia Evil-Lyn. What say you? But with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our Skele-Sorceress, Evil-Lyn, alongside her previous Masters of the Universe Revelation counterpart from way back in Wave 1 of the Masterverse line, which, to put it bluntly for you, I effing hated this figure. I really didn't like this character design for Evil-Lyn, on top of the fact that I'm not the biggest Evil-Lyn fan in general, so this figure didn't do her any favors, at least not for me, despite the fact that it came with the up-teen most accessories any of those figures had for quite some time. But an alt head, the purse, 2 different wands, 6 interchangeable hands. That's quite the spread. That said, we also have the Sorceress Tila from Masters of the Universe Revolution, to compare Evil-Lyn to another sorceress, the sorceress that came after her, because the sorceress that came before her, the Tila, or as we know her as just plain old sorceress, I can't get to her right now, and I can't get to the Dark-Lyn deluxe figure. So this is what you're gonna get, bucko. So moving these two out of the way here. I do like the Sorceress Tila, all things considered, though. That first Evil-Lyn can go to hell, though. Got our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibulas. I guess I should have brought out one of the vampires, because Evil-Lyn here looks like she'd fit in better with them. But nonetheless, we do also have the infamous 11 Spawn, who, truth be told, there was a vampiric Bats character in the old Spawn line, the Widowmaker. Anyone remember that figure? The wings were crap and broke instantly, unless you bought the black and red variant, which is the one I have currently on display. So, with that being said, who gives a crap, right? With that being said, though, it's time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the painted-on costume, cleanly painted, might I add, but painted nonetheless, I have to say that of the 3 Evil-Lyn figures from Masters of the Universe Revelation that we've received during the life of the Masterverse line, this one's probably my favorite. I like the bat motif when it comes to Evil-Lyn. I think she rocks it quite well. And it's not the Godlyn that's overly jacked and looks kind of weird, or the rather boring and uninteresting look she had during the first half of the series. I think this Skele-Sorceress version is the most interesting without being too out of left field, and of the 3, if you're gonna pick one and stick with it, if you're not looking to build a team from the first half of the series, that is, I think this one's the one to get. She's the best one to pair with Skele-God. She is the best looking, and even though her costume is painted on, again, it's painted so damn clean, like Hasbro would blush at the sight of such clean paint applications. Am I right? No? Well, the hell with you then. This is my video. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.